Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say Kal Hala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. So this is just a part 3 to She That Is My Enemy. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish this part 3 with the brother, but that's okay. Part 1, part 2 was done, and so this is the third part. This is Sirach, or also known as Ecclesiasticus 25, 25th chapter. And I'm going to start at the 13th verse, and I'm going to skip on down to the 16th verse on down. So, Sirach 25 and 13, it says, "Give me any plague, but the plague of the heart," right? Which is going into the mind, right? And let's look up that word plague so we can get an understanding of it. I'm pretty sure plague. Okay, so when we go into the etymology of plague, we find affliction, calamity, evil, scourge, serve, trouble, or vexation, right? Mangulent, disease, right? Affliction, slaughter, destruction, stroke, wound, pestilence, to strike, lament, right? So basically, is to afflict or to cause evil or to scourge or put through a calamity, right? So we go back to Sirach 25 and 13. It says, "Give me any plague," okay? So any evil, but the evil or the plague of the heart. And that's very true. The heart's going back to the mind. And I'm pretty sure every man in this truth, every brother in this truth, sincerely doing this work has experienced, plague of the mind here and there. You get into your head, you overthink certain things, and then you got demons on you, saying certain things, and it's basically, it feels like a storm in your head, like chaos. It's just going on in your head. So that's a plague of the mind, right? And it says, "And any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman." Now, and this is a very, I guess, it's a strong statement. I should say that, because it's a warning, right? It says, "And any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman." Why? Well, let's go to 2 Corinthians 13. Salak, let's go to 11. No, that's 1 Corinthians. Salak. Right. So, and when you think about it, the wickedness of a woman, why? Is because first you have to understand, women are creatures of emotion, right? And because they're creatures of emotion, they're more inclined to be emotional, right? Straightforward. But men, we're supposed to be creatures of logic, right? And as men, you're not supposed to use your emotions to make judgment calls, right? But the wickedness of a woman, what they do is, a wicked woman will pull a man out of his logic and push him in the direction of emotions, to make decisions based off of emotions, because what all women know how to use is their emotions. So they will use their emotions to entice or entangle a man's mind, right? A man's mind, as we read, me and the brother read. We went into I think 1 Samuel, and we talked, or was it 1 Samuel? No, Judges. We went into Judges 16, And we read the story of Samson and Delilah. That story basically says it all, right? Delilah used her emotions to entice Samson into telling her his secret, really into telling her his mind. He spoke his mind. He gave the deep thoughts and the secrets of his mind onto his woman, or that woman at the time, or his wife. And what did she do? She betrayed him, right? He ended off with 2 eyes being plucked. And yeah, he took down the Philistines, but he went down with them, right? And the Most High instructed him not to tell anybody about his secret. So that was a good example of that, right? And that's the wickedness of a woman, right? So I was going to get the scripture, 1 Corinthians 11. Slack. Let me look at the verse. Maybe. Slack, bear with me one moment. Okay. So this is 1 Corinthians 11:7. It says, "For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and the glory of Yahweh." And that's right, because when you're praying, you're not supposed to cover your head, or when you're prophesying, you're not supposed to cover your head. Because you're dishonoring yourself, right? And that's also where the pineal gland is in the top of your head, right? In your head. So that's your connection to the Most High. And then it says, but he is the glory of Yahweh, right? But the woman is the glory of the man. So a woman is supposed to be the glory of a man, right? And that's a righteous woman, not just any woman, right? Because when you go into glory, what is it? Let's go into that word glory. Glory, it says, what is the Greek here? Slack. In the Greek,
Strong's G 1391, doxa.
So doxa, and it says opinion, judgment, view, opinion, estimate, whether good or bad concerning someone. In the New Testament, always a good opinion concerning one result in praise, honor, and glory, splendor, brightness of the moon, sun, stars, magnificent, excellence, preeminence, dignity, grace. So I mean, I'm already reading through all this, and you can summarize that. The majority of our women in this society don't have these traits. Now you got the Aquath that sincerely listen to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and mercy and peace to them. That's good, right? But my point is talking about she that is my enemy, which is the woman, which is your woman. Now, to say that, I say that because these women, Satan, these demons are easy. It's easier for these demons, these spirits, to jump on these women, and that's why I entitled this video. Okay, it's a 3-part series. She that is your enemy, because when a man gets a woman, that's his possession, right? And depending on how well that possession is, you'll love her to a certain degree, right? So the wickedness of a woman is heavy. So I'll read that verse again. Sirach 25:13, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. And that will get you in all types of trouble, the wickedness of a woman. Because, again, it's the wickedness of a woman is the trap of emotions. emotions, getting balled up in your emotions, and not using logic to oversee your judgments. Okay, so I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a woman, a wicked woman. A wicked woman. The wickedness of a woman changes her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. And that's true, right? You know, you can see it. If you just look into their eyes, you can see it. And that's how you know. And us men, brothers that are in this truth, sincerely doing this work, you brothers have to understand, if you have a woman in this truth, you have to look at everything from a spiritual standpoint. You know, you should be doing that regardless of having a woman or not. Because, you know, here at Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles and elders on down, we're spiritual men. And we're to look at things in a spiritual light first, right? But, you know, even more so when you're with a woman, because, again, you know, they derive off of emotions. So you being the man, you want to be spiritual, right? And like going pursuant to this verse, the wickedness of a woman changes her face, and the darkness and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. You know, and sackcloth represents mourning, right? Because our people, when we would mourn, we would rent our clothes, which means tear our clothes apart, put on sackcloth, which is like a potato bag type thing. And we would put on sackcloth, and we put ashes on top of our head to represent mourning. So it changes her and darkens her countenance like sackcloth. So that's that demon that jumps on her, man. Right? That's that demon that jumps on her. And you, as a man of the Lord, you have to be able to recognize that. It's a spiritual thing before a physical thing. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. You know, and every brother's been through that, right? All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Right? And that's true, because the scriptures talk about that the portion of a wicked man is a wicked woman. The portion of a wicked man is a wicked woman. Right? Actually, let me get that. Let's get that real quick. Okay, let me get that. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 26 and 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. And that's what we're going to get in the kingdom, brothers. You know, we're getting close to that time anyways, man. If you really think about it, you know, if you don't have a woman, don't look to seek a wife. The scriptures also say that if thou be loose of a wife, seek not a wife, right? Roughly paraphrasing, because at the end of the day, in this society, our women are infected with the wicked ideologies and vain doctrines of this society, of this world, of this kingdom that's run by Esau. And the main one is feminism. That's the main one. That's that main one, man. That's a demon. That's a heavy spirit on our woman, right? And that's what makes. I mean, I was gonna say that in the kingdom, we're gonna get righteous women. Really, in the time of Jacob's trouble, you know, when all hell starts to break loose and things are falling apart, these women are gonna look for the men of the Lord. So you're gonna get your woman anyways. Right now, it's about doing the work, right? And any brother that have a woman, well, the scripture clearly tell us that he that have a woman be as if he had none. Right? Let me get that. Right? Be as though Salak. Con. 1 Corinthians 7:29, it says, "But this I say, brethren, the time is short." Okay? But this I say, brethren, the time is short. The time is short, Akim. We don't have a lot of time until Yahushua comes, man. Right now, the main focus is building up your faith, right? Building up your faith, studying, making videos, making sure you're getting out there on the highways and byways week in and week out, in season, out of season, until this devil pushes us off the streets. Until then, you're working on your faith. You're building on your faith every single day. You should be doing something to build your faith every single day. Because why? The time is short. So I'll read this again. 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. So listen, even if you have a wife in this truth, in this ministry, yeah, you know what? Things are going to be harder for you than a man who doesn't have a wife in this ministry, man. That's just how it is, right? But that's not something that's not something that you should let drag you down, right? You shouldn't. If you're the type of man you have to know yourself. Okay, you have to know yourself. You're the type of man who can be dismayed and distracted by having a woman in this ministry, and it slows you down in this truth, then you have to cut her off. That's just that simple. Because your salvation is more important, and this might sound rough, but your salvation is more important than your wife. You're the man that the Most High is dealing with, right? And it's different for, the Akhwath, Salaki. It's different for the Akhwath because, they're with a man that might not be in the truth, but that's different. The Most High has his way for them. But this is really mainly to you young men in this truth that might have women or might be trying to seek a woman and you're in this ministry. I'm telling you, don't seek a wife if you're in this ministry, if you don't have one. Right? The best thing for you to do is to, like what Apostle Dahar said, go pay for those services, and then get your stuff done, and that's it. Go back and get back to the work, right? Because the scriptures say it's better to be married if you're burning, right? So. And what the word marry there just means to join together with a woman, so just to sleep with them, and then come back to the ministry. But if you came into this ministry with a woman, then hey, this is for you, man. It says 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they have none. So you got to be extra focused, man. I'm not, and actually I shouldn't even say you, Salaka. I should say we, because I'm a brother that has a woman in this truth, right? A woman in this ministry, and that's the stuff I tell myself too every day. You got to be extra. We have to be extra focused, right? It'd be different, and it's not like having a woman in this ministry and then living with a woman as well as being in this ministry. It's another thing too. right? So, it's all about being extra focused, right? Okay, let me go back to the previous script. Slide. Okay, Khan. So I was at verse, so Sirach 25 and let's go 17. The wickedness of a woman changes her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged. So what that means is saying as the climbing up of a sandy way. So, we ever climb up a hill, a sand hill? Walking in sand or running in sand is a lot harder and difficult than running in pavement or on the ground, right? Because with sand, it's not as stable, right? It sinks a little bit. Your ankles and your feet have to stabilize themselves properly for you to get any grip and move. So it's not an easy task, right? To run in the sand or walk in the sand. Now, take that and you add a hill. Now you have to run or walk up that hill. And that hill is a sand hill. It's even going to be more difficult, right? Right? So it says, as a climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged. So you're not even young, okay? You're old, right? So your muscles are not as they used to be when you were younger, right? So you get fatigued. You fatigue quicker. You fatigue faster. So it's giving you an analogy, right? So it says, a wicked, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Right? Right? So these scriptures are kind of just giving you characteristics and examples of what it's like, okay, with a wicked woman, or so that you don't have to be in so you don't have to experience being with a wicked woman to know what it's like to be with a wicked woman. If that happens, hey, it happens, and the Most High pulled you out of that, then hey, Baruch how about Shemi Shad, But if that hasn't happened to you, hey, reading these scriptures should be enough. And Yahweh Ratazah, it doesn't have to happen to you for you to understand. But if it does, then hey, experience is always good, right? But like I said, these are scriptures that are here to reprove you, to teach you, and they're for doctrine. These scriptures cover everything, man. So, and I'm a firm believer that of learning, of not having to physically experience, and I say physically because you can experience things emotionally and mentally, but physically going through something and to have to learn the lesson, If it happens, then, it's good too, because experience is always good. But if my elder tells me, yo, this is what happens when you do this, I'm not going to go do that just to further prove what he's saying is right. I'm just going to be like, okay, I understand. Take his word for it. He's my elder. And then I'm going to stay away from it. Yahweh Ratzah. I'm going to stay away from it. I don't have to put myself in a scenario to understand that it's true. So that's what I mean by these scriptures, man. They're giving you examples already of what it's like. So you younger brothers in this truth, you don't have to go through being with a wicked woman to understand the truth, to understand, well, you shouldn't have, I believe that you shouldn't want to have to go through that, right? Because it's not easy, man. And a lot of men have fell by the way of a woman, a wicked woman. Kingdoms have been brought down, have been broken down and brought to nothing by the way of a wicked woman. Okay, women are nothing to joke around with or to play around with, right? Women are for men, not for boys, you know? Anyways, so it says, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the age, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. And that's just like talking about, like, you know, Jake gets easily distracted by the beautiness of a woman, but the Most High already told us to stay away from them, right? Because He made them like that, and He knows what spirits He put on them. You know what I'm saying? He knows what spirits He puts on them, and He knows how He made them. So He's telling us to stay away from them. Now, you're better off praying for a woman. Let the Most High bring you a woman, man. Don't be going out there looking for a woman, because hey, it's just simple as this. I'd rather the Most High bring me a woman than me go find one. That just makes complete sense, right? Verse 22, a woman, if she maintaineth her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. And that's true. You know, for some of you Aqua that watch sincerely, hey man, that's true. Like men, Jake can be lazy, right? Men, they can be lazy. You be up in your woman's house, living with her. She's paying rent. You're not working, sleeping on the couch, sleeping with her. She cooks for you. She does all these things for you. She's working and you're not doing nothing. Yeah, that's gonna make a woman mad, because truly, you know, the man is supposed to be taking care of the woman. Truly, and that's in their spirit. They know that. Women know that. You know, in the end of the day, they know that. It's just whether they want to accept it or not, right? But they know that, and because of that, it makes them even more angry, which ends up making them more wicked, right? Or can incline them to make them more wicked because of emotion. So, verse 23, it says, a wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. So a wounded mind. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees, man. Because a woman is supposed to be a pillar of rest. A righteous woman is supposed to be a pillar of rest for a man. Hence why, pursuing to 1 Corinthians 11 and 7, it says the glory of a man is his woman. Right? Verse 24, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And that's true. Right? Just like the serpent went to the woman. He went to Eve first. He didn't go to Adam, right? Because Adam is of a stronger vessel and of a stronger mind, stronger spirit. The woman is of a weaker vessel, weaker spirit. So it was easier for him to entice her and to trick Eve into following a doctrine that's outside the Most High's laws and commandments. Right? It says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And that's true, man. You have to, listen, this thing of ours is also about a rulership mentality. Okay? Because you're not just in this truth. We're in this truth for salvation, 1,000%. Okay? Yahweh Ratzazah, we're of the elect, beginning with the apostles and elders on down. Of a great millstone on down, right? But we're also rehearsing the righteous acts. That's what the scriptures say. We're here rehearsing the righteous acts. Let me get that real quick. This is Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the arches in the place of drawing water, right? The noise of the arch, this is twofold, because the noise of the arches is talking about the ICBM missiles in America of drawing water, right? There shall, which is funny because Moses' name means to be drawn out of water, if I'm not mistaken, and he was in Egypt, and Egypt is spiritual. Egypt is America is spiritually Egypt. Salak. America is spiritually Egypt, and Babylon, right? So, and America is going to get hit by missiles, man, ICBM missiles. So they that are delivered from the noise of the archers, which is the elect, in the place of drawing waters, America, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And that's what we're doing here in America, man. Right? Beginning with the apostles and elders on down, we are rehearsing the righteous acts. Right? Going out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth. Right? Week in, week out, in season, out of season, making videos, edifying Israel, the elect, the hopeful elect. Okay, judging, right? Keeping the laws and statutes and commandments to the best of our abilities, the high holy days. These are all part of the righteous acts, right? Of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of the village, of his villages in Israel, which means to all 12 tribes of Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord Yahweh go down to the gates. So, we're here to rehearse the righteous acts. This is what this ministry is about. And that's also includes a rulership mentality. So going back to the previous scripture here, when it says in Sirach 25 and 25, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. So, you know, you're not supposed to, you can't be afraid to tell your woman what you want and what you like, what you want her to do and what you don't want her to do. Okay? Like, I remember I was told by an elder of mine that, listen, like, you need to have a method when you come into dealing with these women. You have to know what you want as a man. You have to know what you like and what you dislike. And that has to be established to her in the beginning. And trust me, you're going to have to remind her of it throughout the relationship. Right? But doing that is establishing authority, because this is about a rulership mentality. Right? So, you know, younger brothers in this truth, you can't be afraid. We can't be afraid to I say we, I got to include myself as well. We cannot be afraid, us brothers in this truth, we cannot be afraid to exhort authority, okay, in a righteous way, according to the scriptures, right? You don't go doing wicked things to your woman, right? You don't just go puff up your chest and I'm a man and you have to listen to you. There's a way about doing things, man. You have to conduct yourself with wisdom. Conduct yourself in a wise way. Right? The scripture that is written in the scriptures, be as, how should I say, be as harmless as a dove and wise as a serpent and subtle as a serpent, salak, and subtle as a serpent. So you got to move, you got to conduct yourself a certain way, because in this kingdom, all things are lawful. Yes, not in this kingdom, salak, but the scriptures say all things are lawful, but not expedient. There's certain things we can't do, or that wouldn't be smart for us to do in this kingdom. And those things are they might be a righteous thing according to the scriptures, because it says all things are lawful. So it is, according to the law, a right thing to do that, right? But is it expedient? Is it convenient? Right? That's synonymous to the word expedient. Is it convenient for you? All right? You have men who have women and deal with them improperly, you know, hit them, do all type of nonsense, beat them up, and then now they catch a case. They're in a jail cell. Now, how are you gonna be doing the work? You got yourself in a predicament, right? So like it's about being wise, man. It's about being wise, and there's a way of doing things. Yes, you are still to exhort your authority to usurp your authority over a woman, but in righteousness, according to the scriptures, right? And like I said, man, a good thing for brothers to understand is, listen, if you have problem with women listen to you, your woman listen to, establish order, establish rules, what you like and what you don't like, and that's it. And if a woman, and if she doesn't want to, get with, your program, then hey, you just got to cut her off. It's just that simple, man. There's many fish in the sea, as they say in the world, right? So this is the last scripture, and it tells you, if she go not as thou would have her. So verse 25, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to get abroad. So that means you establishing your rules, what you like and what you don't like I said, authority, rulership mentality. If she goes not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Straightforward, man. Straightforward and to the point. Why? Why is it that's the way you deal with a woman if she don't listen to you? Well, this is the scripture right here, Sirach 36:24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. And that's what they're supposed to be. Okay? They're supposed to be a pillar of rest. Right? And you know what, no matter what, these women all women are wicked. It's just some are less wicked, right? And that's what King Solomon said. He said he found among 1,000 men, he found one righteous. Among 1,000 women, he found none. Right? So you get a possession, and with a possession, that's how it is, man. Remember Apostle Tahar said this a long time ago. If you put on shoes, you buy a pair of shoes, and you're looking to put them on, and they jump off your feet saying, "Yo, you can't wear me today. Your feet stink," or something like that. What are you gonna do to them shoes, man? You're gonna take them and return them. You're gonna return them, get your money back, or you're gonna throw them away. Cause why? They're not listening to you, so you cut them off. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. And they're supposed to be a pillar of rest. But, that won't happen as much as you would like it to happen at the end of the day. That's just how it is in this truth. Okay? So anyways, this is the last scripture I wanted to get, just to prove that to prove that women are a possession to a man. This is Exodus 22, and I'll start at 15. I'll start at 16. It says this is a law, right? In the law. So it says, if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, so she's not engaged, so she's not to anybody, she's not engaged to any man, and lie with her, so sleep with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. And that's what marriage is. It's the joining together. It means to join together when you look up the word marriage. And what consummates marriage is sex. So when a man sleeps with a woman, she is now his wife, and he has to take care of her. That's his woman. And it says, if her father utterly refused to give her to him, so if the father doesn't want to give his daughter unto the man that slept with her, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Why is he paying money? Well, because the woman, when a father has daughters, they keep the home, right? They keep the home. They do works of the home, clean, cook, and all that type of stuff. And so that's actually, and that helps the father because he can go out and do his farming, agriculture, whatever it is, whatever business he has to do. But if the less women he has, the less daughters he has, the more work he has to do in the house. So these daughters are actually a possession. They're actually of his possession. And if a man sleep with one of his daughters, right, and the father doesn't want to give the daughter to the man, well, that man has to pay the father a certain amount of money, a dowry, for taking the virginity of his daughter, right? Because now that possession has been used, so to speak, right? Kind of like when you you go to the store, and Moab says, if you touch it, you buy it, type thing, because they believe as soon as they really use that with like magazines. You look at the magazine, and if you flip through the pages of the magazine, the store owner, which most of the time is a Moabite, they expect you to buy it because you already went through it. You already looked through the whole magazine, right? You already know you already discovered it. Discovered the magazine's secret parts. So you have to buy it. You owe money for it. That's exactly the same thing in this scripture, man. So that magazine is a possession of the store owner, just like the woman is a possession of the father, and that possession is transferred over to a man, which that woman becomes a possession of the husband, right? And it becomes his possession. So that's proving that women are a possession to a man. Not to make any of the Aquath feel any kind of way, but that's just how it is, right? And it's all in righteousness. So anyways, with that, I'm going to close. I think I made my point. The point was made throughout this 3-part series. She that is my enemy. I sincerely hope these videos were edifying to you brothers. And with that, I'm going to close and say, Kal Hala Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Yokal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutation to the elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the 4 corners of the earth. Abad Babal, Kwam Yasha Allah, and Shalom.